Hello, Soul Family.
Hello, everyone.
We're here to have a chill Sunday conversation with you guys about a very important topic, the rising divide between the masculine and the feminine. Hello, everybody. This is a topic that's coming in strong. It's very strong in the Lightworker Collective, and we feel like so many people right now could use these codes. How's your Sunday going so far? We're going to give it a minute for people to start coming in. How's
we
your
should
Sunday?
bring this in closer because we don't have the mic.
And where are you dialing in from? What part of the world are you dialing in from? That's a bit too close.
Yeah, this is good.
And let us know if the volume is okay on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. How's the volume doing? I see a few familiar faces. I see Raphael, Pooja. Amazing, you're relaxing. So like I said, today we're going to cover a very interesting, much needed topic in the Lightworker Collective. Hi Ben, hi Gina. And this is something that is active, very, very active in the consciousness. So for those of you who are absolutely brand new, spanking new to us, oh amazing, San Diego, Florida, and upstate New York, Mumbai, nice, India, beautiful you guys. Turkey, nice.
I didn't know Dilara was from
Sweden,
Turkey.
Vista, UK, sound is amazing. Hi,
Awesome.
Shell. Okay, so first of all, guys, please hit the like button. That helps us immensely with the algorithms, as you guys know. So please make it to your laptop and hit the like button so that more people can watch this. This is coming in so strong. So for those of you who are new to us, Siman and I have been in a relationship for 11 years now. And one of the
divine relationship.
Yeah, and one of the blueprints of our relationship really is to hold and perfect the divine union, the twin flame, soulmate, whatever. We don't like to call ourselves twin flame or soulmate or any such, we don't like to box ourselves, but really we are here to perfect the Christos Sophia, Shiva Shakti, Hyros Gamos relationship for the best way to explain it. And this is so needed on the planet right now. Why? Because as Earth is ascending into a higher vibratory state, we are really looking to light workers and way showers to start emanating and embodying these frequencies so that just like Yeshua set up the Christ consciousness grid for planet Earth, where he dropped in the Christed frequencies for us to draw from, right now way showers are being asked to really step into their Hyros Gamos, to, like the divine soulmate, divine union energy, so that we can also do our part and serve in the soul mission of adding these frequencies to this very Christ consciousness grid, so that humanity may draw from this for the next hundreds of thousands of years. And this is very missing on planet Earth right now. Yeah. Very missing.
So Eldora mentioned Hyros Gamos, and many of you must be wondering, like, what is that, right? This is not a common term that's used in society. So it's the same as Shiva Shakti. It's the same as the divine feminine and masculine principle uniting in a relationship. So Eldora and I are Ascension teachers, and we're way showers for humanity. And we consider ourselves experts on the ego. Ever since we got together 11 years ago, it was like a powerful cosmic moment.
Yes.
Our meeting was like a very powerful moment that shifted our reality completely.
And surrounded by the angels. Like the first real recollection, the real experience I had was when Siman and I met. We were both in different marriages, but when we saw each other, we just knew we had to pause everything and say, okay, we need to investigate what's going on, because the pull we felt towards each other was undeniable. And on our first date, we were at the Gov nightclub in Toronto dancing, and we, back in the day, we were not as astute as we are today. We were new, and I had never done any kind of ecstasy or MDMA. I had kept myself so clean. I had never had alcohol. I had never had drugs, because I didn't feel I could trust anyone. And as soon as Siman and I met, it felt like, oh my God, I finally am with someone that I can trust. So I dropped all my inhibitions. And on our first date, we did MDMA, which, by the way, we don't do anymore. We do not recommend it anymore, as on the Ascension path, MDMA is just not healthy at all. It rips and fragments the soul, and it's a different story. It attracts entities and all that. But on that day, I remember dancing, like literally looking at Siman's eyes for hours, 8, 9, 10 hours, all night. And I remember the angels playing the heavenly orchestra. And now I really feel like I understand why. Because in 11 years, we have fully stepped into our roles as divine way-showers. We have a House of Ra Ascension festival that was channeled by Ra. And by the way, the next festival is coming to Tulum, Mexico, next April, this coming April. So mark your calendars for that. And if you want to be on the wait list, go to www.houseofra.com. Those on the wait list actually get a special gift, a special incentive when we launch. And we've started the New Earth Mystery School where we have monthly events. Like there's a lot going on in our field. And we, because we are way-showers, the energy that is hitting humanity hits us first. So today we're gonna be talking about a lot of we're gonna treat it like a relationship coaching. I feel all relationships can use something or the other and take what resonates, discard what doesn't. But what has happened is in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we're being shown through our relationship what areas are coming in as distortions in the collective. So that we may heal it, we may get the codes to figure out, okay, let's go into the deep root cause of why this is happening, why are these behaviors happening, why are these distortions happening, let's clear it, let's add that, Christed frequency into the Christ consciousness grid, but also educate other light workers on it.
Yeah. And I honestly I feel that our relationship is more than just the two of us. Our relationship is a divine relationship in every sense of the word. And yes, somebody asked, was the attraction towards each other mutual from both people?
Insane.
It was undeniable, insanely.
We went from first
attraction.
Kiss to I love you.
Yeah, literally, like I felt like I was in an abusive marriage, and I was like the kind of guy who would never leave his wife or children. And when I met her, I was like, this is my soulmate. Like, there's no other way for me to move forward in life. This is the next plan. And we both felt that way, and we both united. And since we've united with each other, it's not been a fairy tale all the time. It is primarily, our relationship is like a fairy tale. It is very, very powerful, very loving, very intimate. And we've uncovered and healed very, very deep wounds that lie in the collective between the masculine and the feminine. And that's the wisdom that we wanted to share and present to you guys today.
Yes.
I wanted to set the framework by telling you guys that everything we do in our relationship, we feel like we are healing these codes to bring harmony back to the masculine and feminine in the ideal balance that nature intended us to be, where a woman is standing in her power, yet she's not having to be the man and doing all the heavy lifting. And the man is being vulnerable and not just wearing the armor and being the only guy calling the shots and not listening to the women's feelings and not even tuning to her emotions. So I've had a lot of discovery within myself.
So have I.
How to become more vulnerable, how to drop into my heart, how to feel safe enough. Eldora's the only woman. I mean, I haven't been with many women other than my ex, but I've seen the state of the collective in women, and I feel Eldora is one of the rare women on earth that I've found so far, whom I can honestly feel I can say I feel safe with. And because this safety exists in the relationship, I can actually do the very heavy lifting of dropping my manly armor that had been accumulated through abuse, through narcissistic abuse of my ex in the past. And I've had to shed a lot of layers, and I'm finally at a place where I can be in tune with my emotions, and she's helped me do that.
And you've helped me do the same, baby. Yeah. Honestly, Siman and I have been instrumental in each other's healing.
And these are the codes that we wanted to share with everyone.
And our relationship is our North Star. I was telling our NEM students yesterday in our event, I said, money, success, divine soul mission, everything for us is secondary. Big home, big mansion, making like $5 million a year, all of that is secondary. Without each other, our relationship literally feels like the biggest gift that we have, and that relationship is the primary focus. It's the fountain of everything we do. Our relationship is like how when we do mushroom ceremonies, and both of us are shamans, we host very, very powerful, once a year or so we host medicine ceremonies, and when we are in medicine ceremonies, we're usually taken to the Godhead. And the Godhead is where God, Prime Creator, Metatron primarily meets us in that elevated state. And they, from the Godhead, they give us the frequencies so we can embody those frequencies and then disperse them into humanity. In our relationship and in our life, our relationship is that Godhead.
And it hasn't been easy. It means that when you're working with source frequencies in a relationship, it means you have to do the heavy lifting and uncover the most difficult topics that most people are afraid to
Open
even look
everything
at.
up.
So
And
let's
I
dive
love,
into
Dilara,
those.
it's coming. Dilara says, I love to listen to your love story. You know, everything that we do is time coded. And it's funny, but our guides are saying the love story is coming. Whenever we tell our love story to like our team, they're like, every time they're like, we have very, 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 very juicy love stories. And I promise you,
We'll make
Dilara,
a
it's coming.
different video just for that.
Yes. Okay. So now we're going to get into some deep stuff. And I really want you guys to absorb this. Please send this to anybody you know who's in a relationship that could use this information, because this is coming in very strong. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, Siman and I have a very emotionally stable relationship, meaning we've balanced our triggers, ego harmonization, we've balanced all of that.
And the fact that we even trust each other 100%.
We have 100%
The foundation
trust,
is based
respect,
on trust, respect, and love.
Like I'm talking high integrity, high authenticity, not like, okay, I trust you, but you know, there's like a few things uncovered. We open everything
It's
up.
like immaculate trust. Like
Yes, that's the foundation of our relationship.
100% transparency in every aspect of our life.
So for 2 or 3 weeks now, we've been getting some kind of distortions that are not even mine, not even his. I'll give you a very simple example that might be like, what? So a few videos ago, 2 or 3 videos ago, Siman, as soon as I started, oh yes, promise Dilara, I promise. How we met love story video is coming. Not like not right away, but it'll come when it's the right time. It can't help but come. So what we noticed is, like, I was on YouTube, and many of you will resonate with this. Is what I'm feeling. This a lot you're going to take away from this. And as soon as I started speaking, Siman went to adjust the mic volume or something. And instantly I heard this voice out of the blue. I know it's not me. I heard this voice. It's the collective consciousness of the women in my head, because that's how we're shown the energy in the collective. And the voice was, once again, this intruder is trying to sabotage me. It's very hard while delivering a live YouTube video to have that kind of a voice. But of course, we're very masterful. We've been together 11 years. We're solid in our relationship. We can move through.
And we're masters of the ego.
But we also like to decode why this is happening. So I want to start off with giving you a very, like, we have 4 examples we're going to take today. 4 themes we're seeing in the feminine and the masculine. And every single one of you, I feel, can get a lot of clarity to improve the quality of your life, improve the quality of your relationships, and also see your own blind spots. Because ultimately, if you're not happy in your relationship, there's only so far you can go. You can only go so far. You can't really achieve those high frequencies of joy and bliss and ascension and abundance when your relationship is shaky. Okay, so this is huge. Now, here's a story I want to share with you. And we're going to go through 4 different examples. But the first one is something that hit home a few days ago. I was seeing a continuous pattern that... So let me go back. There was some pattern that I was seeing in Siman and me. Again, it came up out of the blue in the last 3 weeks. And I took time to meditate and really decode when that pattern started. So it started when I was little, when I was young. I was raised in India. And my father was, I wouldn't call him a bad man, but he was extremely emotionally abusive. He had a huge temper. He didn't know how to control himself. And he beat the shit out of us for any apparent reason. Like one day I remember we were sitting in my grandparents' house and we were all eating ice cream. And my father said he didn't want ice cream. So we were all eating our ice creams. And my father looked at me and said, "Can I take a bite?" And I looked at him. I was a little girl. And I gave him my ice cream. And I said, "Don't take a big bite," because I didn't want him to finish all my ice cream. And because he thought I was selfish, he threw the ice cream on the street. He said, "You don't deserve ice cream." So many things like that happened. But this one incident was shown to me when I was in grade 3. So what was I? 8 years old. I went to school. I wrote my math exam. I came back from school. And my father had helped me the previous night with the math exam. So as soon as I came back, he looked at my question paper and he asked me one random question, which I think was, what is 3 times 3? How is the answer? And I said 6. Instead of saying 9, I said 6, right? He was so mad, he kicked me in my chest and I went flying to the other end of the room. Now, I can speak about all this without crying and tearing up. I know Siman's getting upset a little bit, but I'm okay. I have
I've
healed.
heard this like 100 times, but
Yes.
it still
I know.
triggers
It's
me a
come
bit.
up like
But
so
yeah,
much in our like
this is in
healing.
the collective disabuse.
Yes. So we've healed a lot of this in the last 11 years. We've healed almost everything, all our childhood trauma. But what happened was this happened all the time. Like my father would beat me and I would go hide under the dining table. Now, here's the thing. In my relationship, in my childhood, there was no love. Okay, there was no love, there was no hugs, there was no I love you, there was no comfort. It was only hostility. So until I started dating boys when I was 16, I had no sense of like comfort from anybody. No hugs. We had no hugs. It was so abnormal, our relationship. There was no I love you. There was no physical touch by our parents. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The pattern I started seeing was that when my father beat me or hit me or kicked me or whatever, he felt bad after. And so the following day or a few hours later, he always followed that up with something sweet. So the day after my kick, because I had said 3 times 3 is 9, he came to my school. Instead of me taking the rickshaw guy, home, the whatever, he came and said, no, we're going to walk. So I remember he held my hand and I'm like, I was his daddy's little girl soaking up the love. He's like, I've come to pick you up from school and we're going to go get you an ice cream on the way and then we go home. And I'm this little girl in grade 3. This was a school in Chennai, India. I still remember. And so for me, that became my only way to receive love from my
And you
father.
didn't tell the best part of the story, that you got 100% in the exam.
Yes, and the best joke is that I actually got 100 on 100 in math. I was an excellent student. I was always like first rank in India. Math was really... So the funny thing is I just accidentally said 3 times 3 is 6, but I wrote 9 and I got 100 on 100. So you see how mean they were to someone who was really shining her bright and so innocent and so loving and so pure and so beautiful. But what I did was I started having this expectation like, he's beat me. Now I'm going to get love. Now I'm going to get love. Like, what's going to happen? Tomorrow he's going to come and take me for dinner, or he's going to come and take me for a walk from school or something. Now, 3 weeks ago, when these patterns started emerging in our relationship, like I said, there's some distortion. There was a distortion being shown from the collective energy so that we could heal it and then teach about it. And this is crazy, you guys. This is how deep it goes. You know what? We nailed it down to, and this is what we do. We're expert quantum Metatronic healers. We have our own healing modality that was channeled by Metatron. And this is what we do. We dissect everything because we are ascending very, very rapidly. And you know what the belief was? You know what? Absorb this. I created a subconscious belief that I create conflict, drama, and arguments with the masculine as a way to get their love and attention. Let me know in the comments if that hit home. I create unnecessary drama and whatever conflict with the masculine in my day-to-day life, but deeply inside what I desire is that's a way for me to get their love and attention. So what happened is that right now, because of the damage done in childhood, all of this is coming up and women are reacting for no reason. Women are reacting in a negative way for no reason. There's a lot coming up.
And we were finding this pattern play out subconsciously in our relationship, where sometimes Eldora would get triggered by something I do and we wouldn't be able to get to the bottom of it. Why is it triggering her? And then when we decoded that she was equating from her childhood belief, she was equating the conflict leads to love.
Yes.
So we needed the conflict in order to get the love.
Yes.
And when we resolved this, we were now like, this is very fresh. This is happening in the last week or so.
And an entity. Remember the entity. Yeah. We won't even talk about that a lot.
Yeah, we actually had to remove an entity related to this particular topic.
That was in all the chakras.
That was feeding on the conflict in the relationship and equating it with love. And that's a distortion, you guys. That's something many women have, that they need their man to hold them so bad that in order to crave their man's love, in order to get the man's love, they have to create conflict so they can make up after and have a hug or a kiss And unfortunately, in some relationships, the love is missing and the respect is missing to such an extent that without the conflict, the love is not infused.
Yes. So just watch out for that in your relationship, and let's keep moving. We're going to give you guys a lot of like these, these truth bombs, and then you're going to go and process in your own time. So Siman, talk to them about how we see constantly the narcissist father. So many women, like even when they come to our retreats, what happens is they see the man, like this has happened even in our relationship, and you guys tell me in the chat if I have a feeling many of you will resonate. Sometimes when we look at the eyes of our masculine, like a divine masculine in this case, I would literally see my narcissistic father's eyes. So he'd be telling me the sweetest thing, and I'd be like, why are you speaking to me in such a tone? Like it literally is like we feel our narcissistic father's energy in our masculine.
So yeah, I've had first-hand experience with this. Like in our retreat in 2020 in Costa Rica, there was this older lady, very sweet, she was American, Midwestern, and I had a very loving demeanor towards her. I had a respectful demeanor towards her. And she had a father trigger. She had a father wound that came up during the retreat. And one day she was having breakfast, and I just went in up to her table and I said, "How are you doing, sweetheart?
How are you doing, beautiful?"
And she thought I said something mean to her. The trauma is so strong that even if your husband or your boyfriend or your partner is saying something loving to you, sometimes women have so much trauma from the previous generation of our fathers and our parents abusing us, the toxic masculine dominating the feminine. We have this abuse. Women have this abuse so deeply that they they completely mistake the cues, and they equate something loving with with like an attack energy. So the main thing that we're seeing in our society right now is that women are dealing with abuse of the previous generation, and it's becoming imprinted, and it's affecting our relationships currently in a negative way. So all this abuse and anger towards the father is being translated into our relationship as if it's happening to you now.
Yes.
And the biggest tip we can give is, when this happens, recognize the signs, recognize the symptoms, and don't go deeper into the story, and realize we need to handle the abuse that's already there from the past.
Yes.
It's not a new story. It does not need to continue.
I love that. Oh, Sid says, I'm tuning in from Australia, and my partner and I ended last night. Sending you so much love, Sid. And I hope this message helps. So let's go into another theme we're seeing. Another theme that came up for Siman and me one day before our NEMS event. So as I said, we're very stable in our relationship, and all of a sudden this feeling came up 2 days ago that I feel unrespected, unwelcome, and unvalued by the masculine. Out of the blue. So this basically what we're realizing is that because we as children, when we were children, we've been so abused and let down by our father. We've been made to feel so powerless, like literally so powerless. Right now, the divine feminine is rising. We're saying, oh my God, we're rising. We're feeling better. We're feeling good about ourselves. No more of that bullshit patriarchal shit of like listening to our fathers and feeling useless and powerless. And now what's happening is that the divine masculine thinks they are rising, but the energy I'm being shown in my psychic vision is that we're rising with our stiletto, literally a high heel stiletto in the divine masculine's crotch. And this is not how we rise. We have to ultimately rise as the Hyros Gamos, the Shiva Shakti, where the woman and the man were climbing Jacob's ladder together. And that's really our relationship. Siman goes up, I go up. Then I go up, then he comes up. Like that's literally how we're going up. We're healing each other through our relationship. Now, what's happening is that, and we'll go deep into this, is that women have reached such a sense of like, finally, after so many generations, so many incarnations, so many lifetimes, we're finally feeling powerful. We got our power back. We're saying, fuck you, now to the masculine in a very subconscious way. How are we saying fuck you? We're judging them. A lot of us feel like, oh my God, finally, we're so emotionally evolved, we're spiritually evolved, we're mentally evolved, we're all like, we're awakening, we're on this path of ascension.
We have our own job, we have
our
own
job, we have our business, we're feeling good. Like it's the energy of the divine feminine rising right now. It's very empowered. So now there's this imbalance where we look at the men and say, oh my God, these are like babies wearing diapers. Like men, like recently a bunch of us girlfriends were talking, and there was a whole bunch of single women. And this is a very true thing. In our events, we're 80% women and 20% men. And there's a lot of imbalances even in some of the men that come. So like I'll tell you more about it in a second, but women are literally going like, where are the freaking men? Where are the men who have done the work, ready to do the work, ready to be space holders? Where are the men? And even in our events, like the men don't know this, but the women are all starting to talk, saying these men are coming in acting to be divine masculines, but what are they doing? 3 or 4 of them. They're messaging the girls saying, I think you're my soulmate. I think we should meet up. I can't stop thinking about you. I think you were in Egypt. We were together in Egypt. There's like all kinds of, again, it's under the guise of spirituality. There's the same bullshit of men who don't have a control of their sexual fantasies, their lower desires, and they're trying to con women saying, I think you're my soulmate. Do you feel it too? No, I fucking don't, is the response they're getting. Unless the woman is so like out of her mind that she's like, oh yeah, let's sleep. You know, I'm also feeling this connection, but that won't last because men are being fake with themselves. Instead of realizing that they have an imbalance, that they're constantly wanting to go woman after woman for sex. So this is all coming up in the collective.
Yeah, I wanted to expand on that a little bit. So for the first time in history, we've come into a generation where women have a choice whether or not to respect men.
Yes, say that again. Yes.
For the first time in history, we've come to a place where women have a choice whether or not to respect men. And this goes deep, you guys. And the reason for that is, in the past, we had a patriarchal, toxic, masculine-dominated society where women were not given any choice but to respect the man, right? We were literally, the women were beaten into respect. Like, if you don't respect me, like, it's going to be hell for you. So women became subservient, they became powerless because the men were overpowering them. But now, that gave rise to the women's empowerment movement, the women's rights movement in the 60s all through recent times. But the women's empowerment movement swung the pendulum the extreme opposite way. So on the one hand, women were completely powerless in the past. Now women's empowerment has made women so powerful that it has indoctrinated women with the false belief, and this is damaging for women. This is damaging for all relationships. The women's empowerment movement has indoctrinated women that in order to be powerful, you have to act like you don't need the man at all.
And you have to act
You have to completely
masculine.
sideline the man. You can go get your own business. Anything a man can do, a woman can do. That is so not true. Women and men are not good at the same things. Women and men both have their own strengths and their own weaknesses.
And they have their own individual duties.
Yeah, roles
In holding up this perfected divine masculine and divine feminine container, which we'll talk about after he's done.
And so now women with this empowerment, now they have their money in the bank, now they have their own lives, they drive their own car, and now they're like, I have a choice. Now if I need to respect a man, like Catherine said, respect is earned. If men want to control or not, do the work. Why bother?
Yes.
That's exactly how women think now. I'm not going to respect you unless you earn my respect. But there's also a little bit of subconscious sidelining happening in the relationship where the woman is becoming so powerful that the man does not have the space to be a man anymore.
He feels emasculated.
They feel sidelined. So we're going to get deeper into that.
I love that. How's everybody doing? Let us know in the chat. I know there's a lot of people who are commenting saying, my God, it resonates, but show us your energy, share your energy in the chat. Give us your heart so we can just feel your heart with ours. And then we'll go into the third one.
Yeah.
So guys, this is very important. What we're noticing is that most couples don't know the framework of what it takes to be in this container that we call a sacred relationship. This is actually my favorite point. What do I mean by that? In a divine sacred container, the man and the woman have different roles, okay? This may actually come as a surprise to many of you. The man holds the container. The man holds the container, so the woman can dance and be in her creative and play and let out her inner child and just be a girl. How many of us have become women and men? Like, I was in a woman's body, but I was acting like a man for the last 20 years. I had a very curvaceous, womanly body, but I was very masculine. So many of you may resonate. You're like very womanly in your looks, but you're very masculine. You have to do budgeting, you have to do overly project management, you have to figure out how much you're going to save, you have to figure out, because your men are incapable of doing it. But let's talk about it. It's not like they're incapable of doing it. There's something deeper. So one of the things that Siman just recently told me, and I was shocked. I didn't even know.
As recent as 10 minutes ago?
As recently as 10 minutes ago, he says, he calls me and he looks me in the eye.
We just had a breakthrough moment just before we hit live.
So I always used to judge myself. This is also what I never told him. So you know how you guys see me as this powerful, like, you know, activated, divine, feminine, whatever, like this. I have no blocks with my throat chakra. Like, I can fucking handle myself in any situation. So you guys see that side of me, right? What I do naturally is what the guides are showing me is the highest frequency a girl can reach.
A divine feminine.
And I had no clue about this until 10 minutes ago. So you want to tell them?
Yeah. So, you know how in the last point we said women are becoming so powerful that they feel that they completely don't need the man in their life and they can play the role of the man and the woman in their life. That's what's disabling most relationships. But what's missing is that now the women are becoming too masculine in the relationship. And in a completely balanced state, the way that a divine union is that a woman is playing the role of the feminine and the man is playing the role of a masculine. That does not mean that the man is the controlling one and the woman is like the subservient housewife. Not at all. In a divine relationship where there's balance, both men and women have equal respect, power, and love for each other. The whole relationship is based on trust, respect, and mutual love and respect. However, most women do not understand the needs of the man in the relationship. Okay, the fundamental need for a man, the fundamental need that makes men feel valued.
This is going to be a breakthrough for many of you.
Yeah, listen. The fundamental thing that makes men feel valued in a relationship is when a man is asked to hold space for the woman. When a man is asked to help the woman and authentically share with the woman and be there for her and support her and really work in a divine harmony, in a co-creation, where it's not like we're both in our own silos, we're all doing our own thing, but rather we're working through life together and helping each other navigate, and we're both equal partners. When a woman takes the stance, and this is happening a lot, that I don't need the man and I can be the man of the relationship, the man feels disrespected and really impotent.
And
the
worthless.
men feel sidelined. They feel worthless because the woman doesn't need anything from them. So the men throw up their hand and they say, you know what, if you don't need me, then I'm just going to let you run the show because you think you can. And we'll see how long that lasts, because deep down inside, men also know that the woman needs the man. But they're like, I don't have the space to hold space for you. I don't have the space to help you. I don't even feel called, or I don't even feel appreciated enough to be your equal because you're like so dominating now. So the men are actually feeling a bit
they don't know their place. They don't know what to do.
Yeah,
they don't know how to help.
they're feeling a bit emasculated.
Like, for example, and this is what my breakthrough was 10 minutes before this video. I used to always judge myself that I'm very, like, even in my ex-marriage, and I feel like that's what held my ex-marriage together. And many of you may be shocked to hear this about me. You might think I'm this powerful, like, of course, I'm very, very strong in my power. I have a very activated solar plexus. Power is like my strength. So is unconditional love. So is wisdom. I have love, power, wisdom, very balanced in my field. But you know what might be shocking to you guys? I am extremely feminine in our relationship. And Siman,
give some examples of that.
I am. And Siman just pointed out to me that that is what makes him be able to be that, like he now can stand in his role as this beautiful space holder. Like I always tell Siman, and I don't mean to be weird, but I always tell Siman, I say, Siman, you're the first man I've ever met in my fucking life. You're the first man. I've only been with kids so far. Like literally, my ex-husband was a baby. I would always have to take care of him, be his rock, be his strength. Oh my God, it was horrible. And most women feel that way about their guy. Like guys, unfortunately, most guys are just like, we don't know what to do. And we're getting to the root cause of why that's happening. The women and the men both need to change. But he said to me, he's like, so in our relationship, I literally feel like I'm dancing and playing and creating and being this bossy, this feisty, this activated, everything, this divine feminine rising in his womb. As crazy as that may sound. And what that means is really, I want to get this point across for both men and women. The structure of a divine relationship is where the man is the space holder. And men need to learn the art of space holding so that women don't have to be men. And what do I mean by that? Like in our life, so what you may find shocking about me is that I'm very like, oh, Siman, I have this new trigger. Can you help me with it? Or Siman, like I need a little healing. I don't speak like this, of course, like a baby, but I have a very baby relationship.
Or
right?
even if she's working on her own project,
Yeah.
she won't go in a silo and just work on her own project
Yeah.
and deliver it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when she has a podcast, she comes up with all the ideas and inspiration.
Yes.
And then she involves me.
Yeah.
She doesn't say, oh, you're a man, you don't understand me. But for this to happen, I have to say the man has to be emotionally available. If the men are
Thank
not
you.
emotionally available to the woman, then this cannot take place.
And also tell them how in our relationship, we are each other's highest priority. So we have ourselves as our priority and each other as our priority. Everything else comes after.
Yes.
Meaning we're ultra available for each other. Like if I tell Siman I need help with this, he'll drop everything.
And it's not just like she telling me I need help with this. Let's say I'm waking up with anxiety and having a bad day. We're not just going to say, well, you're having anxiety, so let me go off in my own zone and you figure it out. We both hold space for each other and work through the problems. We decode the problems and then we rise higher and we understand each other better.
Yes.
So it's all about creating that space for emotional support for each other.
And we don't feel like, oh my God, you're weighing me down. Because guys, listen, let me tell you this. As soon as you start feeling power, your power ego initiations have not even started. Like I was telling our students this yesterday, you guys are going through trigger training, ego training, but your real ego training hasn't even started. What do I mean by that? Wait until you are faced with extreme divine power channeling through you. Or you suddenly become these powerful Metatronic healers and like you're like, whoa, I'm like powerful. I feel all of this. I have clients. Or my video is getting like 500,000 views or whatever the case may be. When you start feeling power and authority, especially divine power and authority, which is in the future of everybody watching, that's when the real ego initiations start. And that's when things can go really out of control with the man and the woman. Like the man, let's say the woman feels powerful. She can be like, oh my God, this man, I just have to carry this dead weight around. And I just want to go and make my $5 million. And this is my family, my kids, they're all just weighing me down. But you know what I say to such people? If you go fast towards like making your 5 millions or your billion even, your soul is empty. Right now, you're being asked to focus on your relationship as a mystery school. Focus on your relationship to show you where are you in judgment. Many of us women really judge our men. Think about it. We judge our men for being childish. We judge our men for being overgrown babies wearing diapers, me included. Because I literally, like the other day we were on the beach and I'm like, okay, where are the men? We see a whole bunch of babies walking around. Where are the men? We can tell if a guy is a man or a baby. We can tell who is emotionally developed. And what do I mean by that? A man is a space holder. A man is there for you. A man is someone we can trust. We can respect. We can really, really feel like, okay, he's got my back. There's no there's no discrepancies in the relationship. And the next point I think will really hit it home.
I wanted to bring this home by another example about women becoming so powerful that they don't need the man. There's someone we know who had this, whom I can give her example and it applies very well. So this particular girl, she said that she chose her ex because he was feminine.
Yes.
She chose her ex because he was dependent on the woman. So when a woman becomes so powerful that she can handle shit, sometimes women don't look for a powerful man, because then it's like two men in the relationship. There's no room.
Yes.
So when a woman becomes dominant in life, she sometimes looks for a man who can become dependent and she can support him, because that becomes her comfort zone. That's why
That's her fantasy.
many women, many women right now are in a relationship where literally they are the caretaker and the men are like emotionally dependent and literally like dependent on many of their life skills to the women. So in this particular girl's example, she chose the feminine man. We asked her, why did she choose the feminine man?
People love feminine women,
Yeah.
like long hair,
Why did she
blue
choose
eyes.
that? First, she thought it was attraction, but then she went deeper. She said, I chose feminine men because my biggest fear is that if I'm with a powerful divine masculine who can handle his shit, he will not need me. Okay? And that takes us to the very fundamental core need of the women. Women need safety and security in the relationship. And sometimes they feel the only way they can create that safety is by getting a man who depends on them. Instead of getting a powerful man that they crave and are sexually attracted to and are emotionally open
But
to.
deep down, even though we think that, we can't stand it. We can't stand being around men who we have to baby.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
though
so
we subconsciously
it's a
attracted.
contradiction. On the
Yes.
one hand, they are attracted to the man that feels safe, who is dependent on them, who's more feminine. But on the other hand, when they get that feminine man, they don't respect him.
Yes.
Because they
Yes.
want the man to be powerful.
Yes.
So see,
But
it's
they
a-
don't realize that they have this need to be with a man they can control, that they can boss over. And so
Yeah.
there's so much healing. But now this next point I really, really want to get into. And I feel like we're going to close up after this. Okay. So, what was it? Hold on. Oh yeah, this one. Oh yes, this is the part I want to get to.
After that, we'll go into
So
this.
I have a very important tip for all of you guys. In your relationship, it is very important to be like, depending on where you're from, you may have never heard of this concept, but this concept works. And in a lot of Western societies, there's very clear contracts, not prenups and all of that, but even like there's very clear contracts of, let's say, two people who are 25 years old and say, hey, let's meet up. We're going to have a sexual relationship from 1:30 to 3:30 Mondays and Wednesdays. And you know what? I kind of like a bit of pain. I kind of like a bit of pleasure. We were just talking about this with a few friends recently. And
This
I was
is
like,
about BDSM
and I was
relationships.
like, wow, I'm from India. I haven't heard or been exposed to any of this shit, this stuff. But it's so freeing because everything is written in a contract. There's like no discrepancies. It's very clear cut. Now, imagine how clear it would be. This is very freeing for a man and a woman, or two women or two men in a relationship, to have a very clear container, a very clear boundary saying, okay, I love that. Sandra says, holy shit, so deep. We haven't even gotten, like, this is just the surface level stuff. This is so freaking deep. So imagine having a container that says, okay, instead of you wondering if I'm watching porn and you like being all like, can I trust him? Can I not? Is he attracted to other women? Is he not? Does he like my body? Does he not? Women have all these insecurities. Instead, if the men can just be especially men, like we are used to men, like in our consciousness, there's this men, like Siman's ex-wife, we were talking about it in yesterday's NEMS class, we were giving an example where her biggest nightmare was that, and this became her operating system, and what was it? You will cheat on me, you will abandon me, you will leave me, and I know it.
Yeah.
That's the deep operating system. Like we just look at men with this sense of, we know you're going to fuck up. We know you're going to hurt us. We don't have that in our relationship. In fact, we have the extreme opposite where we have such high level of integrity and trust, but that trust is something we've built over 11 years. So having a container which is very clear, like for example, Siman has told me very clearly, like I am not into porn. I never want to watch porn. I am not into other women. You are like the only goddess that is ever, like in this lifetime, it is you and you alone. it's very clear that in our relationship, no matter how fucking activated we get or how higher self we get, it's not something we both enjoy to go into orgies and multiple partners and whatnot. So we have a very clear container of what our relationship is. What's allowed, what's not allowed.
And we vocalize that to each other. It's not ambiguous.
Yes.
We both know that we're in a committed relationship. We both know our parameters around flirting or whatever. We're not looking for outside anyone to come in.
It's okay to be magnetic, but we're not flirting to gain attention.
We're not looking for attention from others. And we're very committed in this relationship, but while at the same time letting each other breathe.
Yes.
You know how some boyfriends say, well, if you're walking alone on the street and some guy comes up and says, hey, baby, are you single? What are you going to say? Like, that is fucked. Like, that's a fucked way of thinking. We're not like that. We both trust each other, that I don't have to coach her and she doesn't have to coach me. But at the same time, we trust each other to such an extent that we feel comfortable. Even if she goes off on a solo adventure for 1 month, I know the parameters of my relationship and I'm not insecure about it.
And so do I with Siman. And I feel like these are very important things to even talk about. Or let's say the guy wants to watch porn. I'm just giving porn as a very useless example. Have this conversation saying, you know what, baby, I can't like live without porn. But don't have secrets. You know why? You know why? We women, at least that's how I am. You tell me if you're the same. For me, I don't need 99.9%. I operate, my heart opens to a man only and only if there's 100% authenticity. Siman can't fake it. And in our divine relationship, the way we ascend through our relationship, we are able to open Stargate portals when we come together in sacred union. This is all lying ahead of, this is your curriculum in the future when we start doing tantric retreats and stuff. It's coming in within 2 years. Humanity is not ready for this information yet because they're still dealing with their lower chakras of like distrust and imbalances and addictions to porn and cheating and insecurities and all of that. When all of that is done, then the higher teachings start coming in. But right now you guys have to go into really understanding, like if you're a couple, really look into, am I giving my wife all the attention, adoration, respect, time, commitment that she deserves? Or am I more like this guy that's like trying to throw up one that I'm the one who's earning, you're spending my money, or, oh, you should just take care of the kids and I'm going to work and I'm a man, I don't need to cook, you cook. We women are very sensitive. So if you want to open up our hearts, you got to be real with us. You got to respect us. And I say you got to adore the fuck out of us. Siman adores me. Not even like an understatement. Siman adores me and I adore him. And we want to feel adored to really rise. We need to feel that level of trust, that level of true appreciation of each other. We need to see that the other person is crazy attracted to us. And if not,
all of this without clinginess.
And if not, talk about it. Say, you know what? There's something that I'm not attracted about you. I'm sorry, it's not a judgment, but I don't like it when you do this. And I understand that even I have a lot of shit that I need to clear, but let's talk about it. Like, this really hurts me. You know, when you judge me or you disrespect me, like women disrespect and judge men more than they realize. Women disrespect, and I see this all the time. They disrespect and judge men more than they realize because of this sudden sense of power that they feel rising within them. So men are like, oh gosh, he's a baby. I'm this divine feminine activating. No, you're not. You're a judgy feminine. And this has got to stop because we have to start honoring the divine masculine. We have to start honoring the journey of the masculine. And guys, I'll be very honest with you. You really got to start maturing. You're behaving like you really got to start maturing. Yeah.
Now I'm going to give the equal code to the men.
Yes.
So how Eldora mentioned that women are disrespecting men and they're not finding men are meeting their standards. But at the same time, why is that happening? Why is there a disconnect? Why do women feel alienated from the men? The biggest code I can give to men today about relationships in general, and this will apply to all aspects of your life with women, is that you need to understand that women are primarily emotional creatures. Okay?
Yes.
Men are logical creatures.
Hallelujah. You're logical.
Yeah, men are logical.
We're so emotional.
Like let's say this is how a typical fight goes. The woman says, I'm not feeling safe in this relationship because you looked at the girl the other this way, and the woman and the man says, baby, what are you talking about? We've been married for 11 years. I haven't looked at a woman in the wrong way for ages. So the man equates it logically, like, I did not do anything wrong, I must defend myself. But now you're going off topic. That's not the point. The woman, when she expresses insecurity, it means she wants your love. She wants you to open up your heart and say, baby, of course you're the most beautiful girl in the world. Even if I unintentionally looked at another girl, but you should know that there's no other girl in my eyes more beautiful than you. And you don't like lay it on thick like you're just
and it's
faking
not
it.
drama. It's not drama.
It's not fake.
It's very pure.
It has to come from authenticity. It
Otherwise
has to come
we know.
from respect. And so what men need to understand is the women's primary operating system. The primary operating system that women use or operate from is they need to feel secure. Okay? For women in a relationship, security is the bottom line.
It's the key.
If a woman cannot trust a man, then the relationship will end.
Look at you. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
We figured all these things out.
If we cannot trust a man, we'll cheat on him.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll not be happy. End of story.
They will not be happy. So the main homework that men need to do is to allow themselves to be vulnerable enough to express their emotions to the woman rather than using logic.
Pay attention.
If you can express your emotions, if you can open up your heart to a woman, if you even have said, I love you 100 million times and you haven't said it in the last 3 days, say it again if you mean it.
We are constantly, and we don't fake this, we're constantly telling, okay, I haven't announced this yet, but after fucking 20 years, like I've been living single, like, no, wait. I ran away from home when I was 18. So the first 18 years of my life, I lived with my parents. Then I ran away with my childhood sweetheart. We were married for 20 years. So for 20 years, I lived with my ex-husband. Right after that, I lived now 11 years with Siman. And now my soul curriculum is, I'm telling you guys for the first time, is to go off on a solo trip. So tomorrow, Eldora Rose, I'm going solo. Siman and I had booked this gorgeous, like my birthday is coming up, so we had booked this gorgeous penthouse in Cabo, Mexico. 3-bedroom, terrace, this, that. We had booked 11 nights. And so now my guidance is I'm going alone tomorrow for 6 nights and then Siman will join. And this is what couples are being asked to do more of, to go in their own energy and feel their own energy and rise in their own energy and then meet. And because we're going away and we're crazy in love with each other, we're like all the time, we're like in each other's energy all the time. It's a very, very sacred energy. We're constantly telling each other, we're like, we're going to miss you. I'm going to, like that genuine care. Like yesterday I was doing the dishes because I'm like, when I leave, I don't want the house to be dirty for Siman.
She's extremely sweet.
He's the same. He's like...
And she even cooked me a home-cooked meal, like one of her favorite Indian recipes.
So sweet. And then he's like, oh, you're going away? Perfect. I'm going to put all your favorite music in the laptop. I'm going to give you all the books you want to read on Kindle. That's what we want from men. We want you to take care of us.
That's what it means to have create the space for a man to do something for you.
Yes.
She's not just going on her trip and saying like, bye, I'll see you after 5 days. She's like, I from my heart want to like help her with her music, with her books. And she's not saying, oh no, I can do it myself.
And for example,
of course she can do it herself.
And when he said to me, I said, I hope when I land in Cabo, even if there's a time difference, you're going to be online, like whatever, if I need any help. And he's like, of course. He says, when you land, you better send me that first text. We like these things.
Because she's never been away. She's so cute. She's like, are you the kind of guy who will like not even care, like not even text me for 5 days and I just hear about you after? I'm like, no. I'm the kind of guy that I want you to text me the moment your plane lands safely just to know you're safe.
Yeah, and we like that.
I wanna be a part of the experience without being intrusive.
So basically what we're trying to say is that, exactly. What we're trying to say is that women right now have become too masculine. Do you guys relate to this? Like, are you like this? Women have become too masculine. Like, we can do it all. We don't need the man's help. We are earning. We can do this. We can do that. We don't need you. So the man is feeling okay, what is my role? What is my role in this relationship? So
Yeah.
just by, I think if you can just take away this one thing and say, I'm going to take away this one. And I've even said to Siman, it's not going to happen. But I'm like, hey, by day 3, if I'm missing you a lot or you're missing me a lot, you're going to fly to Cabo. It's not going to happen because I need 5 nights by myself. That's my curriculum. Because I need to feel my own frequency and allow my frequency to shine. When we're together, it's hard to do that. We're in each other's frequency all the time. So I love that. So you guys need to take away, if you can take away this one thing of really evaluating, where are you judging the masculine? Or the other extreme, where are you worshiping the masculine? We won't go into that in detail today, but a lot of people worship the masculine. Like they'll come to our events, our retreats, and most people, like, they love both of us equally. They're like, Eldora and Siman, thank you so much. We love you. And we see they're healed. But there's some people who come in and they'll just start worshiping Siman. Like Siman, because in their childhood, they're so used to worshiping the man. Like a lot of Arab cultures do this. But even Americans, there's so many people who have this worship energy towards the man. And that feels very uncomfortable in our field. Or guys who come and have this like, oh, you're my soulmate. They start telling everybody, oh, you're my soulmate. You know, I'm getting messages about you. I'm getting visions about you. No, you're not. You're telling every woman this. And we can see you. That's not cool. That's not sacred. If you do it anymore, you're going to be called out in front of people. Like literally, I'm telling you that the spotlight's on you. You can't fool us anymore. Yeah. Like men cannot fool women anymore. They have to take full responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. And the code that I want to leave for men, once again, is that you have to attune to the emotional frequency of your woman and make her feel like she's the only one in your world, that she's the only one that matters, and that no matter through thick and thin, you'll be together. No matter what happens, you'll support her. And if you give her that safety, and if it's genuine and authentic, and if you actually love her,
you've hit the jackpot.
You've got the keys to her heart.
You know why? Because then we open up sexually. We open up
sensually. That's the thing.
Men,
the biggest complaint men have is that I don't get enough sex in the relationship.
Of course, you don't. Because we're not attracted to you. We're not emotionally safe in your presence. We don't feel cared for by you. We don't feel respected by you. How do you expect us to open up sexually? We're not going to.
For women, sex begins when when the man starts doing the dishes, when the man starts being the caretaker, when the man stands up and does his half of the job.
When he knows how to take care of finances, he knows that he's not an emotional baby that's constantly losing money, screwing up, needing the woman to constantly back up, like, you know, oh, he's having a shopping problem, so now the woman has to overextend. In Siman's and my case, there's no babying. He's a man, and we need more men to be men and not babies. Mic drop. Thank you, Shell. Exactly. You see how passionate we women are about this? We want men to be men, for heaven's sake.
And allow men to be men.
Thank you.
I know men are not, I know that there's a huge discrepancy. Women right now in the collective are very, very evolved. They're becoming more interested in spirituality. In our events, we see approximately 80% women and 20% or less men. Which shows the imbalance.
Yes.
So there's a huge gap in the curriculum. Men need to rise up, but women also need to be gentle for the divine masculine to rise up and not shut them out completely. Give them a chance to be the man. Give them a chance to make mistakes, but still feel loved. Men just want to feel valued and respected.
And guys, you know what it is? Sabine just wrote, she said, I've been on a lot of dates and many men talk about other women and it makes me feel uncomfortable. Oh my God, when Siman and I went on our first 1,000,000 dates, this was so refreshing for me. This is why I'm a girl. Like literally, our code word is I'm girl. G-U-R-L, not even an I. I'm girl. And what brought out the girl in me? I wasn't girl in my ex-marriage. I was a fucking wife. I was a mother. I was this...
She was a power horse.
Woman, power horse, blah, blah, business woman and all of that. Because my man was weak. So I had to be all of this. With Siman, I can finally be girl. And what was I saying about that? I was saying something about what makes it a girl. Like, because he's got his shit together and he's stable, I can rise as a girl. And we women want that. We want to feel like the man has our back, the man we can trust. And we can't open up sexually unless you are all of that. We can't, literally. And oh yeah, and yes, thank you. And somebody just said that, somebody said we go for dates and the man's talking about women, I'd leave the date. I'd say, okay, go have fun with them. Bye. Here's my fucking $20 for that piece of shit we just ate, and I'm going to walk out. Let me tell you why. When Siman and I met, the first million dates we had, all he wanted was to learn about me. Siman knows everything about me. He knows every teenage story, every childhood story. It's not like I'm doing the talking. He wants to know. Remember in our first few dates, he was like, tell me more, tell me more. And I'd be like, so refreshing. We'd be like dancing,
we would
kissing.
talk to each other for hours nonstop.
And then when I got all of my stuff out, I'd be like, okay, now tell me your story. So we know everything about each other.
We understand each other, and we actually have an interest to understand each other.
Yes, yes. I hope you guys, yes, you're welcome, Sabine. If a guy is talking about other women and you're on a date, fuck this shit. I think women need to activate a little bit more of, all right, have fun with the other woman. Here's my $20. I'm out.
No, I think women need to not have a fuck you attitude. Men should also not have a fuck you attitude. And
No, with a
finally
girl.
come to the table and say, you know what? Be vulnerable, and this is my honest truth, and this is what hurts me, and this is what makes me feel
Not when you're on
appreciated.
a date
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Tinder, but you can
Yeah.
let them know, say, you know what, if you're speaking about other girls, obviously this relationship is
Oh,
not
if it's
me.
a first date, that's
It's
a
a
no.
first date.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even if you're like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a different case.
Awesome, you guys. I'm so happy we're doing these quick touch bases. We're actually off with a couple of our friends, Starla and Carolina. We're going to Playa del Carmen now for some Indian lunch. And we're just going to go spend a nice Saturday in Playa del Carmen. And tomorrow I'm off to Cabo and I'll make lots of videos from there. Hopefully, I don't know what I'm going to do there.
It's our first time apart in ages, like years.
Guys, I have never been by
This
myself.
is part of our curriculum. We're so together that our guide said we need to separate you two for a while.
God, it's too much. And we've decided we're going to do it every year around our birthdays, November and March.
That's our birthday gift.
Yeah, and like Siman's already looking into a Vipassana. If any of you know a kick-ass Vipassana, which is a silent retreat, his soul is craving that. I don't want a Vipassana. I wouldn't mind doing like some high-end, like women's retreat, leadership. I want to do something for myself. But if you guys know a kick-ass Vipassana, please comment because he's looking for one. And I literally said, okay, you're going away for 11 days on a Vipassana in March. All right. But when you come back, I'll have the most amazing home-cooked meal for you.
I told her I'm going to come out of Vipassana early just because of
He's
that.
like, I'm going to create fights with them.
Her home-cooked cooking drives me mad.
So guys, spoil each other. Be there for each other and watch how your woman and your man start opening up the keys. Once the keys start opening,
it gets so juicy, you guys. The place we're in our relationship.
the angels come in.
I don't think this exists on earth, and that's why we can honestly say we're here as way showers. We're literally correcting the blueprints and we're sharing the codes. And our highest joy is for all of humanity to share the same level of love.
And by the way, I'm going to record a podcast in Cabo. Make sure you listen to it because it's going to be about sex and fantasy. And I'm going to tell you that that's kind of my curriculum in Cabo and how we set our sacred container, because that's my curriculum. It's not his, but it's mine. So it's like crazy shit's going on. And I'm going to Cabo to explore something. I'm going to talk about all of it in my podcast, which I haven't recorded yet, but I will maybe on Monday or Tuesday. And don't forget to watch it. What is my podcast? I think it's it's on our website. It's nems.love, nems.love. And I think it's www.nems.love/podcast. I think that's my podcast page. And yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do in Cabo. I'm going to be just sitting, and that is so cute. I'm going to travel with his Vogel. So he has this big Vogel that has his energy. It's so sweet. I said to him, if you're not going to be with me, can I take your Vogel? And he's like, oh my God, that is the sweetest thing. Of course you can. So I'm taking his Vogel because I'm just going to meditate with it all day.
And I find that adorable that she wants to take my crystal.
And he can have mine.
It's actually going to help her.
It's going to help me so much. So anyway, guys, I'm sending you guys so much love on your relationship. I know this is hard work. And look for the signs. I
wanted to end by saying that no matter how bad or how challenging a relationship is, even if you have a fling for 1 month, it's worth it.
What do you mean fling? Oh, that way.
Even if you have a relationship for 1 month, but you learn one lesson, it's worth it.
Your heart will
don't
open.
Isolate yourself.
Yes. You got that? Even if you have, don't say, I'm not going to have a relationship because I'm waiting for my divine partner.
Keep learning.
Yes,
keep rising.
you are waiting for your divine partner, but if you like someone genuinely and it only lasts a month, imagine all the stuff you're going to learn in that month. We're not saying go sleep around a lot, because a lot of like exchange of trauma happens when you guys make love, and like you're inheriting all the trauma from the other guy and all of that. But just don't have blocks to relationships because
Be
you have all
open to
these
receive
judgments
love.
like men are babies, whatever. Be open, because it's always going to heal something in you and open up other doors. With that said, I fucking love you all. Bye, everybody.
Take care, you guys. Love you all.
Thanks for joining.